some of the things that we can do to improve our gut health, one of the biggest things is add fermented foods to our diet. So I'm a big fan of homemade kombucha. I make it myself. I drink it every single morning. It's the first thing that I have in the morning with a combination of other things. I'll mention that later. Um, so homemade kombucha, and you can go and buy kombucha now. It's more, how could you say, more prevalent. It's more easily accessible. So we would always suggest buying local if you can. And we do like sunshine blends that are Innisfail. And then I think there's some places in Olds that sell it. Um, you can, I think the mass produced ones are more for flavor, not health benefit. So before they used to have like liquid kombucha and you take like that much of it and it would help improve digestion. Some people take prebiotics, probiotics in pill form. I think like anytime you are using, and of course, sorry, let me finish. Then they had the pills that were like not quite pharmaceutical grade, but like health food store grade. You can buy them anywhere. And then they started, people, more and more people started making kombucha. And then they're like, oh, so many people are making kombucha. Let's just start producing our own. So now you have more and more companies that are popping up all over producing kombucha. So I would say um, I'm not sure what that means. Sue says COVID. Sorry, I missed that comment. I don't know why I have to scroll up to see my comments. Usually they just pop up. Um, oh, because of Ingemination shutdown. Yeah, and that's the problem. There's a lot of businesses shutting down. It's sad. Like there's a Ruby Tuesdays across the street here. It was like part of our summer, and I didn't go, like we didn't really go there and eat very often. I try like once in a while. I grab like an ice cream or like a milkshake. It was like a once a summer type of thing. And they had a car show Friday nights, and they have like 50s music, 50s, 60s music, and I love that era. And they had the old cars every Friday. I'd go there every Friday throughout the summer. And they closed down. It was so sad. I was like, and we take these things for granted. And I was like, we would go and support them as much as we can. You know, you go and hang out, and it's a nice atmosphere. And I'd post some pictures. I just felt like since I didn't eat there, maybe I could help them promote in some way. And I really liked the car show. I thought that was a cool thing for the community here. And it shut down. I was so sad. Like I couldn't believe it actually. So, anyways, but there's lots of, yeah, you're right, Sue. There's lots of businesses shutting down. And, and then I think there's going to be more. There's going to be more without question. So supporting local, especially with Christmas coming up soon, like it's going to, I really feel like a lot of businesses are holding on for Christmas. And if people choose not to support local and choose not to help those businesses survive, they're not going to. That's all there is to it. So I was just saying that ferment, like I think ferment or come like store bought kombucha is so mass produced now. I don't know if it has the same nutritional value as if you would make your own. For example, like I said, we can go to some local places that would have better quality, but I choose to make my own. So I have a SCOBY. It's a bacteria, and I make my own out of black tea and raw sugar. So that's super easy. That's one way you can add fermented foods to your diet. Another one is raw sauerkraut. So if you're buying sauerkraut, so you can make sauerkraut yourself. I have never made it, but I make kimchi. I'll get into that in a second. Um, so you can make your own, and that like our grandparents used to make sauerkraut. Like I know my grandma did, for example, and that's like a real sauerkraut. If you go to the grocery store and you find one in like a plastic container on the store shelf, cheap container, cheap product. It's sitting on the shelf. It doesn't need to be refrigerated. That's not a health food product. That's more of something you'd put on like a hot dog. Put your sauerkraut on a hot dog, put on some ketchup and mustard, and then you're off. Um, I often think it's entertaining for me to see like how we judge health food types of products. I had someone the other day that was questioning ingredients in some of our products, and I know for a fact they're like a hamburger fast food person like 3 times a week. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I'm just saying like it's just very interesting for me to be in this field that we're in and see how people react to like clean health food type of products that are questioned and almost investigated. But then you go to the grocery store and you're buying Fruit Loops for breakfast, and we have fast food for dinner, and then a bag of chips and pop in the evening. And then when it comes to a health food product, we're like, "Are you sure that's clean?" And I'm like, trying not to lose my mind. So that was raw sauerkraut. So, or sorry, that was sauerkraut. You want raw sauerkraut that needs to be refrigerated all the time. So that's another good quality fermented foods that we would recommend. And then you could look at kimchi, probably next to maybe I wouldn't say kombucha is my favorite. I would just say I use it the most often. Kimchi is my favorite. I love kimchi. I love the spicy. I love the crunchy. I put it on eggs. I put it on stir fries. I could put it on a side of anything. I haven't really made it here in LA. Like we have limited space and utensils, and we live very simply here. We have a bigger kitchen in Olds, and we have more resources, I would say. And we've got a whole spice rack, and it's a bit different. It's different there than here. We have almost two different lifestyles. And so, anyways, when I'm in Olds, I love to make homemade kombucha, and we have a friend that makes kombucha, or I love to make homemade kimchi, and we have a friend that makes kimchi as well, and she gives me some of hers sometimes. So I love that too, and it's really easy to make. You can look up a super easy kimchi recipe. The problem when you go to the grocery store is there's sugar in it. There's tons of MSG, other toxins and preservatives, colorings that you probably should avoid. So that's kimchi. You could look at fermented soy products like miso soup, for example. That is the only. I think tempeh is also fermented, also as well, but I'd get it organic tempeh and probably an organic miso as well. Those are the only soy products that I would recommend because they're fermented. Those can also help with gut health and good gut bacteria.